Hi friends, it's Angela with Wild Violets Art. Thank you so much for joining me, and I thank you for your patience for all the time that I have spent away this month. We had a family loss that was pretty severe. My stepdaughter, and she was only 34, and a mother and a wife. So anyway, it really kind of gave me a gut punch, and so I wasn't able to. I mean, we had a lot of family commitments, and it really was a tough time for me to try to get back on my feet and feel creative, and which just surprises me because I've been creative through lots and lots of stress and bad times, but this was a little different. So anyway, I appreciate you hanging on and joining me today. So all right, for today, we're going to be playing with the paper pumpkin, and I'm so excited because it's a really beautiful one. It's just stunning, great colors. It's called Painted Petals, and I'm going to do a couple of alternate cards, and I'm also going to show you what I'm doing with my scrapbooking. So this one has lent itself to a stunning scrapbook page, and I'll show you how to do the second page as well. So, all right, let's get to it. So this is the gorgeous box that this came in, and I am so sad to tell you that there's actually no um, uh, kits that are available, and there are no more refills either. They sold out within like 6 hours of when they became available on Tuesday, and unhappily, I was not paying attention, not realizing that because it was also a paper pumpkin sale. So it's just gorgeous. And as you can tell from this box, it's going to be stunning. There's also this Every Celebration Dies, and I am using this one today, but we're going to do some alternates. There are just tons of things to do with this. Okay, so I've already started using it. So you'll see that one of them is pink, but, and I'll show you what these sentiments say in a minute. There's a gray granite spot, and I love this paper. It's so pretty. And then I've already dived into the kit because I had to obviously start working on my scrapbook page because I didn't want you to have to watch me try to figure it out. But it comes with 9 cards. And as you can see, these cards are stunning and the pieces to it are stunning. So here's a close-up of what this looks like. And each one of these cards are just so beautiful. I just love the daisy. I mean, even the orange is just kind of a cool, pretty orange. And of course, the pink is just gorgeous. Really, really, really pretty. So anyway, that's what we're going to be playing with today. It comes with, and this is pretty typical, you know, Stampin' Up! Is really up their game. They have some little tear strips, which are, instead of tear and tape, they've done it in a strip. And then they've got these pretty little pearlescent self-adhesive sequins. And then, of course, you've got your little mini Stampin' Spots, or dimensionals. My apologies. And we've got some little embellishments that go with your cards. And then these are the cards. Aren't these gorgeous? I mean, these by themselves are just so stunning. And it's got kind of a little bit of a watercolor splatter. And this, it's like a real faded floral that's on here. And each one of them, each piece would make a really beautiful card. And I just, it's like, I just want to, like 10 more of these. They're so pretty. Anyway, they just are great. And then I should show you the sentiment. So they give you this little, hey, Linda, hey, Shannon. It's gorgeous. So hopefully you both got it because it's no longer available. It's going to be one of those that if anybody has any to sell, they'll probably sell it for $50. So anyway, so as you can see, this is just a duplicate of what's here. And it says, I'm so lucky to have you in my life. You're simply the best. Let's celebrate you. Hello. Friends like you make life beautiful. And then this little floral here matches the dies in this Every Celebration dies, which is an add-on. And so I was really excited that I got this because I wasn't sure if it was going to sell out. And that means that I can continue to create with this, with these gorgeous sentiments and this little floral. And I've seen some really pretty cards with that. So then let's get to, this is like the star of the show. Isn't that beautiful? So we're going to just play with one of these. And then, of course, the envelopes. Every bit of this is just so, so stunning. I know. I've seen some people make it with art, and that was just amazing. Having, you know, even just this with some background would be stunning in a piece, in an art, in a framed piece. So it's just really pretty. And then, of course, they've got these really pretty colors on the inside. So, okay. So what I'm going to do is, rather than make this card the way it's supposed to be, which it's really just popped up, like for this one, it's just popped up on this like so. And it just makes for a beautiful shadow, like there's more flowers and it's in this frame. I'm going to swap it up a little bit because I think these are beautiful just by themselves. And so you can see, it's just gorgeous. And for this last one, it's just so pretty. And I could make it like that and pop it up a little bit and add the sentiment, and it would just be a gorgeous card. But I think I'm going to cut these in half, use this part for a card front by itself because it is so gorgeous. And then I'm going to layer with this and a piece of watercolor paper, and I'm just going to do a wash of color. And you've seen me do that before, obviously not with paper pumpkin, but let me just show you my scrapbook that this is just one of the 2 pages. So you can see what I'm saying is I did like a watercolor wash on the background. I added a deckled circle in this, oh my goodness, my brain's not functioning still. Okay, Mossy Meadow. And then I just added the card back. Here's the card front. Here's the floral. This one right here is from the envelope. And this, I haven't finished putting it together, is from the envelope. And then this is just a little piece that they have you use for your sentiment. And then I stamped the sentiment rather than using the gray granite. I used Berry Burst because the pink in these florals is a mix of Mellow Mambo and Berry Burst. So you can see it just really, really turned out pretty. And then I did something new that I haven't done before. I've seen a few people do this with their scrapbooking. I used more pieces of the inside of the envelope. So you can see this. This was from here, and I cut off one of them and put it up there. But the inside of the envelope, what I did is like I cut a strip about so big, used the paste on the little tab or for the envelope tab and glued it behind, and then I just pulled it away, just tore out a piece so that it just added this really beautiful 3D element. I did a corner, another piece over here, and it just added a really stunning look. But let's get back to the cards because I'm going to do the wash with you just to show you how to do that. And okay, so we just have a watercolor, piece of watercolor paper, and it helps if you wet it first. And then And so this is a little spritzer. Stampin' Up sells these in packs of 3. And so I had a little bit of the Mellow Mambo, and then I added a few drops of the Berry Burst inside here. And then I have one of these large water painters, and I just mixed the two. And I just want a little bit of a spray of color. And I have a little bit too much on there, so I'm going to take a tissue and just dab it off. And I have water all over the place. Do need a little bit of, and so I don't get something everywhere, I'm going to turn this over so that I'm not splattering. And I'm just going to do some splatters. So I want to get something to bang it against. All right, and then I want some green splatters as well. So I'm going to use a little bit of the Mossy Meadow. And you can see how the splatters just go all the way up. I learned that the hard way. My desk needs a thorough cleaning now. Whoops. Not everybody likes to make the inside of their... Oh, good, Linda. I'm glad you got that because it's just so gorgeous. Oops. Need something to hit it against. My finger's not hard enough. Okay, that's plenty. All right, so now that I've made a mess on the back of my scrapbook, which doesn't matter. Okay, so those are the things that I did to this. So you can see I've got some splatter. I didn't do any green on this one because I have my photo already mounted. It's too late. But so, and then I'll put this together, the rest of it here when we're done with the card. Okay. So as you can see, let's see, this is, so watercolor paper comes in a 5x7. And I just realized that I need to have this be 4, and so I cut it in half. So it's 3.5 by 5, but I need it to be actually 4 3/4, because that makes it so that when it is layered on a piece of this paper, all the borders will be the same. So let me just cut a 1/4 inch off of this. I'll be right back. Okay, so let me cut this in half, and I'm going to use this as my background. And then I'm just using a thick white cardstock, scored in half, and I'm going to make this as my card base. And this will actually just take over the entire front. Okay. All right, so now I can like rough up the edges if I want, which I tend to like to do when I'm watercoloring. This is a little damp still, so I'm going to need to see if the glue will stick. So I'm going to use a little bit of glue. And just put this over the top. Now, I do want a little bit more berry burst color, and I'm feeling like there's too much of this hot pink. And I want it to just have a little bit of the darker color. Because then it'll match a little bit better with this. Okay. All right. So now I need to do a sentiment. And the cool thing about this, and let me find it. Oh, there it is. They gave us 5 each of 4 different sentiments. So the only one that you're not going to find, it's pre-cut. So in other words, when you have a sentiment that you like, and let's do friends like you make life beautiful. And let me get the envelope out of the way. It has these cutouts, little punch outs you can see with this one that I took out. You can see that they have all these cutouts. And so this sentiment matches this cutout. This one that says, "You're simply the best." It's upside down, but it matches that one. "I'm so lucky to have you in my life." Matches this one. And then "Let's celebrate you" matches this one. So can you see why I'm tearing apart these cards? Because I have more than enough sentiments for every single card I could make from these kits. So you've got 9 cards. I've used 3 of them, so 6 left. So that means I've got 12 different opportunities to make something really beautiful. And if I want to tear apart the envelopes, which, you know, it's very tempting because this is just gorgeous, I can also, you know, have another card there. I still, I have 16 different sentiment cutouts that I can use. And so if you don't use them all here, you can use them later. But let's go ahead and just use this one here. And I'm going to use the Berry Burst instead of the Gray Granite. I just think it pops a little bit more, and it matches the darker of the florals. You just center it on there. You don't have to fussy cut. It's already done for you. Bless their hearts. They did such a great job on this one. It's just amazing. So we'll just leave these because we're going to have to decide which ones we're going to do going forward. And oops, I had the wrong flower on there. There we go. Okay, so we've got the sentiment, and then we've got this little piece here that goes with it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put these little dimensionals on the back. And I think I need some that are cut in half. And let's get my needle nose pliers, or and I'm going to put these along the edge because this is a little too narrow. I know I don't have the directions out this time, do I? I think it's going to be okay. This is just so pretty. And I think one down here. But I think I need another one right there. Okay. Try not to bend the little stems and flower heads. Oh, thanks, Harleen. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, this kit is just so pretty. All right, so let's just find a place on here. Make sure that it's straight. And then what I'm going to do is find a place to add this. Okay, so I want to be careful, and so I'm going to place my dimensionals where I know they need to go for this little piece here. And then this little tear and tape strips that come with it, I'm just going to put along the back of this towards the bottom. Uh-oh, I put it in the wrong place. I put it on the top. Let's see if it lets me move it. Ooh, lucky day. All right, it needs to be more towards the bottom. There we go. And we have these beautiful little embellishments. And those you can just put wherever you want. And you're done. Isn't that beautiful? Just super easy. Now, rather than taking the time to show you how to do each one of these, because what I'm going to do is I would use Calypso Coral for the back of this one. And for this one here, you know, I think maybe Petal Pink or something. There's all kinds of, actually even Pretty in Pink would work, or the Calypso Coral, or even the Mellow Moss. So any of those colors would work with that. Okay, so put this to the side. So now you can see my scrapbook page matches my card. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so let's, so I need to add this, and I'm going to add some dimensionals on the back of it. And I've had some that I've already cut in half. So I've already done a lot of the work on this one, but what I'll do is I'll work on the second one with you. I think I'll just add that here. Okay, so this one, I left all the little pieces in it because I kind of like that look as well. So not sure if they'll stay for long. They might end up coming off, but that's okay. Okay. All right, so I think I'm going to just do it like so. I want this to be perpendicular so that I can just oh, thanks, Arlene. And this one here, just a little overlap. And then we've got this really beautiful sentiment. And I can use my own tear and tape, or I can use the strips. Make sure I've got this right. Okay, so this is the bottom. I think I want this little flower to be higher. So let me put my sentiment in, and then I can there we go. All right, now just the embellishments. And I think there's plenty here. They're so pretty. So one done. Okay, so this was a trip to Paso Robles that my husband and I and some friends, my friend Pammy, went on. And so we have a couple more pictures. And this is kind of what I was thinking of. So what I did is, again, I just cut the cards in half. I didn't do anything more. And these pictures are 3.5 by 5, and I just cut a 1/4 inch off the picture. So, depending on who you get your cards from. And so this is the direction I'm going to go. And I just need to get them all centered. I'm actually going to go ahead and let these overlap because I think that, they're just so beautiful. And I don't have enough room to spread it all out. I could do 3 different pages, but I don't think I need that. This is just a really fun trip that we did. I still need to add a title to it. But just adding a few of so this is fussy cut out of the envelope. So you can see that I opened up the envelope. This is all I have left of the pink. And I fussy cut out the florals. So this is the flowers from the envelope. These are the flowers from this envelope. And then I die cut out more of these leaves. So not sure where I'll put each one of them, but I want one of them here with this. And then I'm going to show you how I cut strips from here, and I adhered them to the back of the cardstock and then just ripped. And I think I'm going to add a little here, and I'm going to add a little there just to add some visual interest like this one. So super easy to do, and it just makes, I don't know, it just does something. Does something to my heart when I'm getting a little creative. So it's fun. I just really enjoy that. So, oh, thanks, Arlene. Okay, so let's start getting these adhered. And I'll leave everything else and just do one thing at a time. That way I don't get lost in the process. So I'm using my tear and tape because I like the archival quality of it. And because this will be in a page protector, I'm only doing like a diagonal strip across. So let's just make sure that it has the same distance from both sides. So you can see where I got the splatters, and all I did was splatter on this page. I didn't do a watercolor wash like I did on that one. Okay, so let's do this one. This was back in 2016, and I have friends that have a winery in Creston, which is just outside of Paso Robles. And these friends had a camper trailer that they wanted to take up there. So we all went up together, and then we stayed in a little cabin up there at the winery. And that way they had their RV to themselves. Okay, so I'm just going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. Oops. As you can see, I use every little bit that I have. And then I've got this little dimensional that's been cut in half. There. And then I don't want these to collapse. I want them to still stand up when they're in the page protector. So that's why I'm adding the little half pieces to the edge. And I think that's it. Maybe one more round one. Right there. Okay. I love these little daisies. Just so pretty. Oh, thanks, Linda. Get back to those kiddos. I know you got littles to watch. Okay, I think I'm going to add one more right here. Okay, so then I'm just going to center it on this piece. I'm going to do the same thing. Yeah, anybody that wants to case this is welcome to it. I think that the more the merrier. You know, we need each other to get ideas from, because sometimes I have dry moments and I just have to go online and take a look at other people's designs, and that's okay. You know, none of us are, you know, super creative. Well, maybe there are. I know there's some really creative people out there, and I'm very envious of them. And I'm sure there's people that are envious of me, but we have to glean from each other. And as they say, there's nothing new under heaven, so you'll find some idea. But there's a good chance somebody else has done it too. And just in case you're wondering what case means, copy and share everything, or copy and selectively edit. And you know what I did is I put the wrong flowers on the wrong piece. Oh no, let's hope I can get this all off without tearing anything. It was pretty, but it wasn't quite what I had intended. Sometimes you're lucky, and the dimensionals just, if you pull them away soon enough, they seem to come up without tearing the paper. And I got lucky. Oh, thank goodness. I did leave one of the dimensionals behind, but okay, so let's try this again. There we go. Okay. And let's put this one down. Again, I'm just centering it on the page. And I just love that little background that just gives it so much depth. It's just gorgeous. Okay, so now I need to place these two. And think what I'm going to do is just do a little bit of an overlap. Something like that. And I think that looks good. Okay, so I need to do this one first. And you could add another layer of paper. People have been doing black, which is just stunning, but I wanted to keep it a little simpler today. So I'm going to try to keep this dimension again and overlap about the same amount. It's just something interesting about keeping some of the dimensions the same. Like these two, these dimensions are all the same, and then the distance around this frame. So we'll do the same thing on this one. And then it helps to balance when you're putting together your scrapbook page. It seems a little random, but it makes, I think, a great composition. And so again, I'm going to overlap just so and leave the same distance here. Overlap this one the same. There. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this down. I could use glue, but I'm going to be careful because I don't want to, again, add something I'm not sure about the archival properties of. So hopefully when Stampin' Up! Starts giving their scrapbook or start adding more scrapbook stuff, they will talk about the archival qualities of some of their product. Okay, so now for here, I'm just going to add some dimensionals to the back. So when I cut these leaves out, I actually cut them in 2 layers. In other words, I put 2 layers of cardstock down and then the die, and die cut it out. And so the one that was in the die, closest to the die, all of those fell out really easily, but these ones didn't, and I actually liked that. So I left that on purpose. And I changed up the green background and the orange background just so that, again, there was a little bit of change here and there. Okay, so now I'm going to use You're Simply the Best sentiment. And so these are all pre-cut, which makes it super easy to use. And for this one, I think I'm going to use the Calypso Coral. You just center it on the little die cut and punch it out. Super easy. And I need a little bit of the tear and tape on the bottom. And then I can lay it over this. And then I'm going to pop up this little flower. I'll get rid of this so I don't end up with my hand in it. Let me see if I can use the last couple of these. And then I'm just going to add this right there. overlap it just a little. And then the last one. All right, so this one, I think that I'm going to glue it down. So let's use some tear and tape. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be working off the camera. Oh, thanks, Arlene. For being creative, there's definitely some times of creative drought. And I have to say this month has been one of those. So I'm going to bring this up as far as I can and just overlap it just a little bit. And then overlap again. And then for this one, I think that I'm going to use, I'm so lucky to have you in my life because this is my man. And he's made a world of difference in my life. You know, the thing about grief is that you don't really understand what is going to happen. And I haven't ever lost someone like this. I've lost uncles and aunts that were, you know, getting very elderly. This one I'm going to do the green. See if I can find it. There we go. That, you know, were getting very sick, had been sick for a long time. You know, I was close to some of my aunts when I was younger, aunts and uncles, but as you get older, I think we tend to not maybe be as close to them. Let's move this out of the way so I don't have a bump. Okay. And the loss is hard, but you kind of, you know it's coming. You know that it's probably not far away because of their age and such. And I think that, you know, you're sad, you cry for a couple days. When you think about them, you're sad again. But losing somebody that was only 35, left young children behind, it bowls me over every time I think about it. Sorry. Don't mean to be emotional, but it's been very, very tough trying to navigate grief over this because it's nothing like anything I've ever experienced. Okay. All right, so now for the little ad that I told you about. So I've got these pieces of envelope that I want to use to add a little bit of extra to the edges, and like this. So I'm going to do a strip of the green up here, and I'm going to do a strip of the orange down here, and I'll show you how I did that. So I'm just going to cut about an inch off of each of these. I'll just do it at the same time. So it's an inch at like the widest place. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lick this, and then I'm going to line it up behind my cardstock here. Now you can use other paper, other pieces, and you just glue around the edge. But what I want is I want this to line up. along the edge so that it just matches the edge perfectly. And of course I didn't. Here, let me turn it over so I can watch what I'm doing better. Okay, so that's adhered really well. Let's glue this one down as well. So I'm just licking the label, and I want it over here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see how this, where this is. I'm just going to start tearing. If you want, you can use something sharp to help you. And I'm just keeping it low at first, because I don't want to tear that paper. And because you glued it, it's not going to really let you get higher than what you originally, where the glue is. And I got a little further to go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my fingernail, and I'm going to just bend it back. Is that cool? Just adds a pop of color along the edge. It just makes it look like, you know, something sticking out. So, and I hadn't done this before, so you're learning with me until last night. So I just have seen a couple things, and I wasn't sure if they just added the paper over the top or if they, you know, added underneath. So I'm just guessing that this is what they did, but I just thought it looked so cool. Just a little something. A little something, something, as they say. And again, I'm just going to put my fingernail under it and roll it up. Just adding kind of an element of distress. Because I think there's something about, you know, the splatters, the watercolor look that just adds so much to the scrapbook page. So that's it. Now I'm just adding the embellishments. And so lovely. Oh my goodness. That's it. So I did my embellishments like odd numbers, and the only thing I need to do is add a like travel buddies or something. I don't know. We just had such a great time with the traveling that we did. So hopefully you enjoyed today and you learned a little bit of something, and you had fun with this. But I just, oh, these flowers are just amazing. So, well, thank you for joining me. I went a little bit over again, but I loved having you, and I appreciate the interaction. Have a great weekend, and God bless you.